And we're live.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Billy Merritt. Today, I'm bringing you the DigiNinja Sales Academy. Now, it is 11 a.m. It just happens to be 11 a.m. Central Time, which is where my guest is from. Jay Jensen, thank you for taking the time to come on my show today. I am a
Yeah.
salesman's I'm a salesman's advocate, and I just love people who help salespeople be better. So, Jay, tell us your story. Tell us your background. Who is Jay Jensen, and what in the world does Jay have to do with sales?
Oh, you're fading out, buddy. We're
Did I
live.
fade, did I fade out? So let me ask you again. Can you hear me loud and
Yeah.
clear, Jay? Okay. So
Oh,
Jay,
heck yeah.
all right, great. My job is to bring I'm the salesman's advocate. So I want you to tell your story. What is Jay Jensen? What's the story of Jay Jensen, and what in the world does Jay Jensen have to do with sales?
Dude, I got into sales after I left college. I always tell people my blood alcohol content was higher than my GPA. So they told me I must leave college. So I didn't know what I was going to do, and I got into sales. And it was going, wow, I went to college for 9 years, and I could have been doing this the whole time. So I'm just all about sales. So kind of an advocate because back in the 80s, you got beat up a lot by your sales manager. Remember, you know how that is.
Yes.
And I said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. So as I've gotten older, I and probably I don't need the job as much as I used to. So I can go ahead and speak what's on my mind and
Right.
start telling people, hey, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is what maybe we should try this different. And maybe it's 35 years of frustration finally bubbling out.
Yep.
But it is salespeople. Sales is hard enough without having other people get in your way. You got customers, but a lot of times it's managers, it's the system, it's processes, it's gurus. People keep messing with you. It isn't sales isn't that hard. Let's just keep it simple.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy.
Yeah. So here's the way I look at it. I think there's good information out there and there's bad information, and I'm the same way. I don't need the job anymore, so I'm very quick to point out some of that bad information. So, give me an example of some things that that these gurus. I'm using air quotes here. Tell us some bad information that
I just
gurus.
learned about these. These are cool.
Yeah, man, you got to
I tell
use
my
those.
wife, this is good. Can I have another? No, yeah, it's in the car business. The big thing is, you know, what they're doing is they keep hiring these people and forcing them. They got a new sales process. This is revolutionary. This is going to break this is going to, you're going to take your business to the whole another level. And what they do is the sales process is just taking a salesperson and you're shoving the customer down a funnel
Mhm.
to get to the close where they have no room to go and they have to buy a car. I mean, you've seen these over the years, these processes, and you know, don't ever leave your customer, for a second because they might talk about a reason why they have to leave. But the problem is instead of training your salespeople, you're teaching them these stupid processes that never last. If you're going to invest in your team, do it the right way. Get somebody in there that can show you the basics, tell you how to close, how to ask questions, how to use the phone, how to use texting, and basically how to build a relationship.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying is, guys, we're making this way too difficult. I have something that I want to sell, and by golly, I found you, and you want to buy it. All we got to do is just figure out what's going to make us both happy. That's sales.
And how do we uncover that the desire of the sales? I'm sorry, of the customer, because the customer has a desire. I feel like, you tell me if I'm wrong, that so many of these processes that we're talking about that just don't last because they're based on what the management of the dealership wants. If we're talking about cars, and that funnel that you mentioned, we're trying to shove these people in the funnel, and there's got to be a way that hopefully takes into consideration what the customer is trying to accomplish. How do you uncover? What's a proper way to uncover this where it works for both parties? Because you got that sales manager up there and he's just beating you over the head. Jay, you're not a salesperson. You're an order taker. Jay, you couldn't close a door. And he's trying to tell you, make them drive the car. Bring me an offer. If you don't bring me an offer, don't come back to the desk. What's a better approach?
Well, first of all, you got to trust your salespeople, and you do that by training them. Don't yell at them, because if you're yelling at them, it's your mistake. Dude, they're on your team. If they don't know which way to block or which hole to hit, that is probably, no, it could be their fault, because that was me. But in football, but you know, it still is. You know, responsibility comes up here. You can't lead by yelling. That does not work. It just doesn't, and it chases people away. But you trust your salespeople, train them and trust them. I still have, do you have a commitment? No, but I got a deal. Do I need a commitment written in paper? No, you don't. I got it. I
Mm-hmm.
got it. Trust me. You're
Mm-hmm.
wasting your time. You're spinning your wheels. No, dude, listen. I got this one. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but it's trust your salespeople. I mean, that's all it is. And if you spend the time, and you probably heard this a million times, people go, "Well, this is revolutionary." No, it isn't, dude. I learned this in 1985. You spend this much time with your people up front, investigate, find out what they want, and then figure out what they want and show it to them. And the sales process, your closing's like this. Okay, you skip right into it. Yeah, we're looking. Kind of want a car. Like, we kind of want blue. Well, here, I don't know what you, 4-door, 2-door. I just heard blue car, and I'm assuming that's what you want. And then you go for a test drive. People are going, "Well, I kind of really wanted a van," but and then at the end, you're trying to close them with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So just build relationships. If you're a my son's a new salesperson. I said, dude, just build relationships. Just talk, listen. And don't make it an interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not. It's a conversation. And he's going, well, Dad, I don't want to sound like a salesperson. You don't have to. I said one time it was, if the numbers are agreeable, this car going to work for you? Is there anything else that's going to prevent you from eating it? He goes, well, Dad, that sounds like a salesperson. I go, when you're growing up, I used to say, hey, I'm going to put pepper or pineapple on my pizza. Is that going to stop you from eating it? It's the same thing. I'm just asking you a question. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just asking you a question. And
Right.
and that's what you got to do. Just build a relationship and have conversations.
Yeah. And it seems to me, Jay, that you're looking at this what I consider the proper way for the long term. You say your son's a new salesperson. If he's trying to focus on I'm using the air quotes again, these power closes, and all the attention is on the close. And basically what you're trying to do is get somebody to do what you want them to do. And if that's your approach, you're going to have some success. But if you build the relationships, and if you're looking at the long term, and then you're building a big pipeline of people that you have a relationship with, when they buy, they're going to call on Jay rather than the person who shoved them in a car that they didn't necessarily just have a lot of love for. Is that accurate?
Dude, you did that a lot smoother than I did. I was all over the board. I like your version.
Well, like you said, I have a way with words, but especially if I have some good content like what you're talking about. So, let me ask you this, Jay. What's your thoughts on advertising? And you mentioned the '80s. Back in the '80s, man, we could run an ad in the newspaper, and we could get people to respond. They would just come in. They would come into the dealership, and man, I want this car that they're talking about right here. And then in the '90s, we saw the shift to direct mail. Man, all these companies made millions of dollars selling direct mail and selling a lot of cars using direct mail. Right on into the 2000s. Then you had Auto Trader, and you had all these new digital forms of advertising. We use 100% Facebook with what we do now. What's your thoughts on advertising and the shift? Where should we be what should we be focusing on right now if we don't want to miss the boat?
You know, you're doing it right with Facebook. You know, dude, I'm sorry, I'm not into Snapchat yet. But I mean, there's other avenues I need to get stronger on. But yeah, I remember. Remember, they didn't pull up with the newspaper on Saturdays. This one, dealers could afford to do advertising on them in the newspaper. They come in with a stack full of papers. And I'm still got one in my hand. Hey, you here for the big sale? And throw my newspaper. That was advertising.
Mhm.
And then you still get your referrals, but it is. You always got to stay current. You got to almost look for what's next ahead. That's the hard part. It's like cryptocurrency. I want to buy that one for a penny. That's going to be worth $50,000.
Mhm.
But you got to figure out what's my cheapest, most effective revenue source right now for advertising that I can get aboard of and get ahead of everybody else.
Mhm. Yeah, I
But
tell you.
I don't. If I knew that, I'd be rich.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think you actually may be onto something there. I think Snapchat is coming. It's coming. Like I'm a big Snapchat user. We don't spend a ton of money on Snapchat or anything other than Facebook. We're on the horse, right? The horse. Now I was early on the horse. I was
Yeah.
on the Facebook horse 8 years ago. And when people were saying, get off Facebook and get to work, they were saying things like that. I'm like, you don't understand what Facebook is if you're telling me that. So, you know, I turned that into an amazing horse, and we rode that horse, and we're still riding it, and we're still out front. I do think that there's going to be some other horses come. Could be Snapchat, could be, you know, that TikTok thing. Have you been on there yet to check it out, Jay?
No, because everybody that dances goofy reminds me of myself, and I'd just rather not do that to me.
I understand. You know, we may see something pop up though, and we're always looking to see what
Yeah.
might be coming, and we'll experiment. You know, we haven't totally abandoned Google AdWords and some of the other things, but you know, we feel like we have another 5 or 6 years of this Facebook thing, and if we can get that out of it, man, we're going to have a Hall of Fame horse for sure. What was your favorite? You know, you mentioned the 80s. I loved it back in the day when you could put flyers in the newspaper, you know, and that was people, they would go to the inserts of the newspaper, and man, that was where you had your big event, your 10 event. If you had a 10 event, and you had your 10 up, you had your balloons, you had those inserts in the newspaper. That was fun to me. What was your favorite part of sales in the last 20, 30 years?
You know, I got so many. You know what I mean? It's just going. I mean, my brain's going. Okay, say no. Wait. I think over here. You know, but the whole thing is with sales is the people I met and the camaraderie with the salespeople. Because you know, salespeople, we're not right in the head.
That-
You know, I mean, I mean that's I got out of sales for 10 minutes, you know, about 10 months, and I was going, God, these people out here in the real world, they're not for me. I want to get back into salespeople, but it's the camaraderie that and the friendships you build, and I mean, sales is actually it's a great profession if you're geared for it.
Mhm.
But no, I remember the sales. We had battle of the radio stations. You know, to have three radio stations come on. You know, the three biggest ones, and they and you get your. Here's the deal with the radio stations. You got to give them a reason to get pumped and come in and buy. You know, because here they are. Yeah, come on out here at XYZ Motors and get a free hot dog, and we got some good deals out here. Now for my next song, and
Mhm.
but you sat there, and with the three of them, we were saying, well, for every car we sell, we'll get $50 in a pot, and then whoever gives the most referrals from the radio station, then they take all that money as winner gets all, and then put it towards their charity.
Mhm.
And then you had your salespeople working, the radio people working for you. That was awesome. That was, I mean, I think I sold. I walked into that Saturday going, and I think I sold six, and it was just off the radio people. But it's,
Mhm.
I miss the radio people.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. So check this out. I had a lot of experience with the radio guys as well. Made some great relationships with the radio DJs. And when radio started declining,
Yeah.
one of my favorite DJs, he no longer worked at the radio station. He wasn't sure what he was going to do. And I called him. I said, Paul, I really need you to come. I want you to see this Facebook thing I'm doing. And he didn't really know what I was talking about because he didn't have anything else to do. He just came in and started doing some things with me. And now I have my very own DJ who helps me on these shows. And he's an excellent producer, executive producer. He's also the operations manager for the entire operation that we have. So I have my very own DJ, Jay, that works here in the office with me. How cool is that?
Dude, you're ooze cool.
I'm
I
telling
mean,
telling you.
I got this.
Hey,
I got a blue. I got a blue phone. That's all I got.
let's talk about the phone. Let's talk about the phone. You're a phone expert. How important is a phone today? The phone looks a little bit different maybe than that blue phone you have, but where does phone skills fit into selling in 2021?
Well, it's huge. Now I tell people. I mean, I'm a big texter. I like that better than email. Because I can shoot a text, and but you can't. Salespeople got to understand there's time and a place where texting. You actually got to reach out and talk to these people in person. Over the phone. Yes, you're going to have to, like your air quotes, dude. This is awesome. No, but you're going to have to actually talk to these people. And and the thing is, again, I'm not a salesperson on the phone. I'm still, it's like I'm talking to you. That is how I talk on the phone. It's just, again, just I've had people come in just because they wanted to know who was behind the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just have fun. I mean,
Yeah.
people, yeah, I'm looking for a car. I want to spend, $2,000. It's got to have under 20,000 miles, maybe last year's model. I'm going, perfect. Does it need to run? They're going, yeah, okay, then I got nothing. But then you kind of, but that's, it opens it up, and you just got to know how to be yourself on the phone, just like you're talking, like we're talking. I'll probably be the most unprofessional guest you've ever had on your show. Thank you. I'm proud of that. But it's who you are. Just have fun and use your phone. Don't be afraid of it. I hear salespeople all the time. They're afraid to ask the question. You
Yeah.
know, just
Well,
ask a question.
I want to speak to something you said there that you'd be the most unprofessional guest. Listen, man, it's I tell people all the time, you don't want to be professional. You don't want to be unprofessional. Excuse me. You may not want to be unprofessional, but you gotta not take yourself so seriously. You gotta if you want to be successful, and I'm talking about massively successful. Very few people have sold 6 cars in a day, and I'm sure you sold even more than that. But you said earlier you sold one day you sold 6 cars.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you cannot sell 6 cars in a day to 6 different individuals with 6 different personality if you are the one that's uptight, Mr. Professional, and you are just, you're too starchy. It's not going to work. You have to be the type of person who's willing to be real, as you said, I mean, and make fun of yourself. You got to be able to, if you take yourself, if you can't laugh at yourself, man, you have bigger problems than a lack of sales skills. Would you agree?
yeah, yeah, and it is. And it's funny because in sales, um, Mark Hunter is very big sales. He's actually one of the thought leaders I highly respect. He's got #1 Amazon books and all those places. He flies over the world, and he called me up to have lunch with me one day. And I'm sitting here in awe. I'm starstruck. And I met Mark for lunch, and he goes, first thing he talks about is, tell me about automobile sales. And he goes, I want to know what that's like. And I said, well, Mark, you have you have you do all your research, get on your internet, find out who this person you're going to call is, the company, and you do all this stuff. I go, dude, I got 10 feet. He goes, you got 10 feet. I walk out there and I'm going, I look at the man, the wife, or whoever's out there. I look at their body language, their face expressions. You know, I got to figure out how I'm going to talk to them, how I'm going to start this, who should I talk to first. I mean, if the lady's turning her head, I don't, and trying to avoid me, I don't want to talk to her first. I don't want to put her on the spot. He
Right.
goes, you do that on 10 feet? And I said, well, I'm old and fat, Mark. It takes me about 20 minutes to walk that 10 feet. But no, I mean, but there's so much to sales. And that's how you sell 6 cars is you've got to be observant. Sales isn't walking up and say, can I help you?
Right.
There's more when you're walking out there. Be productive. Don't be thinking about the pizza just came on a Saturday. I'm going to miss it because everybody's going to eat it. Just you're on the show. You're on, and might as well make the best of it. But 10 feet, walk and look for facial expressions, body language, and you got to build off of that.
Mm-hmm. So, what's your most memorable sales event? I did an event in North. I didn't do the event. I was a salesperson at a big event. They sent out direct mail. They had like 6 radio stations. It was in North Miami. So when I got there, the first thing I realized is I was one of the very few people there that spoke English. So that was a little tough. It was a learning curve, but I made it. We sold a few cars. I sold a few cars. They sold hundreds of cars. But I remember we sold like 150 cars, huge population down there in a short period of time, like 3 or 4 days. What's the biggest sales event that you've been involved with? Do you remember?
No, the one that keeps coming to my mind was that when I was telling you about the battle of the radio station.
Really? Where
And
was
I've
that?
never had anybody I've talked to people say maybe we should try this. No, 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 But I just remember it was so much fun, and I had a brand new pair of leather soled shoes, and I wore them that day. It was a Saturday. It was about 110 out, and walking that lot, selling those 6 people. And this back when the owner could take people out for dinner. So he picked a handful of us. We went out to dinner, and I drank my share of alcohol. And I remember taking my shoes off, and I got home and just watched them swell.
Yeah.
because that leather. But yeah, I look back and you can kind of tell that was just so much fun. That was just that was it.
So what part of the country was that in?
That was in Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow, and it got that hot up there, huh?
Oh, dude, it gets 90, 100. Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. So what is, I feel like we're all salespeople. We're all selling something, even if we're not very good at it. We should. I think it's important to let everyone know, including my producer Smith, who got this show. Thank you for the great production so far today, Smith.
Thank you.
I tell Smith he's a youngster. He doesn't realize he's a salesperson. He's starting to realize it. But I try to encourage and let all my people know that we're all salespeople. So we need to be good at it if possible. What are you selling today, Jay? What's Jay Jensen doing today?
Well, I tell you, I'm at the stage in my life, and it's kind of funny. Is my wife and I, we go to Asia during the winter. Did before COVID. So we go spend 3 or 4 months there, and I'm thinking, well, what do I want to do? I need a job that I can just have fun, and blah blah blah. And then about December, say sayonara, and then go to Asia till about February, and then come back again. I'm thinking camping sales, campers. That'll be fun. And so, of course, what happens is I pick the year pandemic hits. Everybody's buying campers, and I've never been busier in my life.
That's awesome.
My part-time job just went, and everybody said, well, campers are tough to sell because it's a want, it's not a need. I go, perfect. I'm tired of telling people that, hey, I got T-boned, my car died, I have an extended warranty, I don't know how I didn't get that. People call me every day and told me it was expiring, but it's like they need a car. Now camping, you got people coming out going, yeah, we want to go spend time with our neighbors and our friends and our kids, and we want to go. I go, why is that tougher? It's easier to sell a want. They're pumped, and it's just so much fun. And so I really like it. I kind of hate to say it, but I wish I would have gotten this 20 years ago. It's just a different world in car sales.
Yeah, man, I'm interested in different types of sales as well. Where's home at today, Jay?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
South Dakota. How cold is it today?
It's like 60 degrees today.
Wow.
65 maybe. Yeah.
Sounds nice.
No, don't worry, dude. We'll still get another 12 inches of snow. We'll get about 3 more snowstorms yet before the summer or winter's over.
I don't think we got any snow this year. Tell me about Asia. Why Asia? What parts of Asia do you and your wife travel and spend so much time?
Well, Vietnam, and then we travel. We'll go to everybody's so nice over there, and they're very respectful. And of course, it helps. I'm respectful of them too. But they speak English. If you want a McDonald's, you can get a Big Mac over there. People don't realize just how nice it is, and it's beautiful. I mean, instead of being in 30-degree below weather, I'd rather be where it's 85. And I can fly over to my wife and I can go over to the Philippines for maybe a week and stay, or we can fly to Thailand, or we just travel. It's just a lot of fun. I'm tall there, by the way.
Really?
I'm 6'2".
Smith.
In Asia, that's like 9'8".
I was gonna say,
but but yeah.
So Vietnam, wow. What's your favorite country that you visited?
That's a toss-up. I like Vietnam's good, but in the Philippines, I like that because they speak probably more English. On LinkedIn, I probably got 4,000 followers in the Philippines.
Wow.
So I do go back there, then I meet some of my buddies and stuff like this, and friends that I've met on LinkedIn, and I just like it. Everybody's, no matter where you're going to go, if you treat people right in this whole entire world, maybe North Korea might be a little different story, but you're always going to have fun. You're always, as long as you respect people, you're going to get the respect back, and there's really no bad place to travel. Again,
have you been to China?
North Korea. Yeah.
So there's Smith and I were doing some research, and we've been watching some videos on the big cities that are just popping up everywhere. Have you seen some of those modern cities with the skyscrapers that make our cities look kind of ancient.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I want to,
Tokyo is a very modern city, of course, because they own America. No,
yeah.
but but you'd be surprised, about the technology that's available and the buildings that are in these Asian countries. We always think third world. Of course, there are places in Asia that are third world. I mean, there are people living in, shacks and tin huts and stuff like that. But a lot of the countries are very modern. I mean, most of them are very, very modern.
That's cool, man. I'm starting to admire Jay Jensen even more now. He gets to world traveler,
Yeah,
big sponsors like Double Bubble, and I got my own sponsorship back here. I have to sponsor myself now. Jay, do you offer any sales training? Do you have any courses or anything like that?
No, and I'll tell you what happened was when I joined LinkedIn, it was actually because I wanted to go to Asia. This is about 3 years ago. And I thought maybe I could get, I'm a little too young to retire. What can I do over there? My wife and I go over there and just live, And so I was going, well, how am I going to find out? I don't want to move there. So that's how I got on LinkedIn. LinkedIn was just like, how can I do it? And somebody said something about LinkedIn. You should look into that. It's all the world way around, and, all over the world. So I put up a profile and submitted it, put it up there. And I'm going, I don't know if this is going to get me a job. I don't know anybody here. So I just started writing a post about what I've learned in sales, because on my resume, Jerry's Used Cars at Lenox, South Dakota isn't going to really get me a lot of attention over there in Tokyo or Taipei or Manila. So I just started writing posts. So where I'm going at with this was I had no goal in mind except maybe get a job in Asia somewhere. And so I didn't go into this with the idea of I'm going to sell my sales program. I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell this. I just went in to get a job, and all of a sudden things blew up. And I really don't have any urge. I'll help people if they message me. I try to help with my posts, but that's really, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. So where have you worked in Asia?
Where would I?
I mean, have you had jobs in Asia?
No, nobody'd hire me over there. All that work for nothing.
Okay. Well, hey, look, it got you some exposure, and I really appreciate your help. I love seeing people. I'm a salesman's advocate. I love helping salespeople. I've been a salesperson. I started on the pavement with those leather shoes like you're talking about, and I've worn out dozens of pairs of shoes, running around on the parking lot, demoing vehicles and helping customers. I love it. I love salespeople, and there's so many salespeople out there today who really need some help. And there's so many gurus out there that it's hard to tell who to listen to. So, guys, if you want any good information, as you know, if you've been watching this show for any time, there's good information and there's bad information. I'm quick to point out the bad information, but my favorite part is pointing out the good information. If you would like lots of good information, then just follow Jay Jensen. You can send him a friend request. You can also find him on LinkedIn. Jay Jensen, that's where I found him. I love reading his posts. I'm sure you will too. If you want to know some more good information about sales, make sure that you understand and know who Jay Jensen is. He seems like the kind of guy who's always wanting to expand his friends list. So I appreciate you accepting my friend request, Jay, and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on the show and giving us some knowledge. I've got to jump on another call with a dealer. Maybe I can sell something. I'm going to use some of those phone skills that I learned from Jay. If people wanted to get in touch with you, other than LinkedIn and Facebook, was that the best place to find you? Okay.
Yep, that's that, or in my recliner at home.
I love it, Jay. Hey, man, thank you for coming, man. Thank you. I appreciate
it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Tomorrow's Winning Together with April Brown Merritt. That's going to be a real estate show. You don't want to miss that. Jay, if you have a chance, jump on tomorrow. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern time. We'd love to have your comments and input on that show as well.
Yeah. Hey, sorry about the time switch. I thought for sure you were Central Time.
No, that's okay. Hey, I love switching it up. We'll do a Mountain Time tomorrow if necessary, whatever it takes, because we are not rigid. We're very flexible. Thanks again, Jay. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, Billy. Thank you.